Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sessions Café. I'm your host, Keri D. Singleton, and today we welcome my brother from another mother, Nate Moran, to the show. How are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm blessed, man.
Who's blinging the most today?
I don't know.
It's like a competition.
I gotta get some of them kicks, I'll tell you that, man.
I know. These are
I don't know.
a buddy of mine up in Norwalk, Connecticut put this together.
Oh, yeah, we'll take a trip.
Yeah, and they light up. I just don't have them lit up because there's already enough lights. But anyway, we ain't here to talk about my bling. You were born in the capital city of Virginia.
Yes.
Richmond. Talk to me a little bit about Richmond. I've been there like once, maybe twice.
See, my grandmother raised me, so I was raised in that southern thing. I had that southern, even though the city part was there, because I, grew up chopping wood when it was wintertime and then, all that cutting grass. But then I still would slide off and go to the projects out there and shoot dice and then get in trouble and the whole nine. But, it was the city, but it got a little slice of the southern in it because a lot of the people, like my grandmother came from New Kent County and moved out there. And she had like 13 kids. So I'm one of the grandkids she raised. So, you know how that went down.
Yeah. Well, Richmond is definitely... You're using the word city. I'll use the word hood. It's definitely not all of it's hood, but I've been there and I remember thinking, "Whoa, wow! This ain't exactly country, but it's Virginia, so it's not like it's in Mississippi or something." But I need to go back and check it out. There's a lot of culture in Richmond and probably really good food.
Yeah, what's crazy? I hadn't been back home since 1990.
Okay.
I had ended up doing a show out there. And they finally got me to do a show out there in Channel 6 News, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I was like looking around, even my old high school and everything, like you said, a lot changed. But then downtown, they got a lot of culture and a lot of stuff.
Right, yeah.
Stores had closed down that wasn't there and this and that. But I got to go back and hang out because I still got an aunt that's still out there.
Okay.
So I want to go check her.
Well, if you ever had one, you lost your accent.
Yeah, New York, man, 24 years.
Yeah, okay. That'll do it. That'll do it.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. 24 years ago, you moved from Virginia to New York City. Now, firstly, how old were you?
Well, I moved? Well, I'm ex-military. So when I got out of the military in 1984, I left there, and then California, 1990. Let me see. I left Virginia. I went back. I've been traveling so much.
So you just been all over the place.
Yes.
But do you remember at what year it was or how old you were when you left Richmond for the first time?
Oh, the first time, 18.
Yeah, okay, 18.
I went in the Army, yes.
Okay. I was going to ask you about that. The Army, why?
The family, I had uncles that was in the military, and it was like the thing to do, like down south back then, I seen a lot of prejudice. I seen a lot of everything.
Right.
You feel me? Right. So I wanted to, my uncles, they came home, and it was like a family once you seen it. And then when I got in high school, I got in JROTC, Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps.
I'm familiar.
And I did the drill team and things, so I was getting myself ready to go in. And, honestly, I was kind of tired of school, too.
Yeah.
My sister went to Howard University, and I was like, I'm going to Army. I ain't got more school. But then the thing about it was crazy. I thought I was running away from school. I still had to go to school because I had to learn my trade. I got into communication, and now I got to go to school to learn my trade. I was like, Jack, I thought I went through with school.
Just a whole new kind of an education.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. So when you moved to New York, what was that like for you? Because I know it had to have been a cultural shock for you. It's different than any other city in the country. I dare say any other city in the world. So when you first came here to New York City, what was the experience like for you? What do you remember the first thing that made you say, "Wow, I'm really in New York"?
You know what happened when I came out? Because I got divorced in Colorado, so I went to Aberdeen Proving Ground, APG. I was working on post for the government, and I was coming back and forth. My mom was out here, and my uncles and aunts, sisters out here. So I was coming to visit back and forth anyway every weekend. So my mom was like, yo, you coming so much, just move out here. I was living in Edgewood, Maryland, and then I was working at APG. So I was getting the vibe of it already back and forth. But then, learning how to ride the subways. But then what's crazy, when I went to Labor Day Parade, and that Jamaican Day Parade. That's when I'm like, okay, this is New York. This is
Yeah, that's a wow moment.
yeah,
That's a wow moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So dancing globally, man. Growing up in Boston, I wanted to dance from like the '80s. You know, the early '80s, as a matter of fact. But never obviously didn't make it. That wasn't my thing. Even though I loved to do it, I just wasn't meant to officially be part of Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation, which was actually my dream. But dancing globally, wow, man, what was that like? I mean, what are the crowds like in Asia versus in the Western Hemisphere?
You know, it's I performed all over Germany and in the '80s, and it was a whole nother vibe, man. Because I've been dancing since I was a baby. You know, my mom used to give me 50 cents back in the day to do James Brown split.
Wow.
When they used to do, you know, back in the day, they drink the little Coke 45 and they had the little drinks. And they had I was entertainment for the family.
Okay.
So I grew up in loving to dance, watching Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, Gene Kelly, Nicholas Brothers, Hines and Hines,
Absolutely.
Gregory Hines, and all of them. So dance was my passion. So when I went overseas, it was like a whole nother day. They embrace a different, you know. When I came back to America, I was like, man, you know, y'all got to grow up, you know, because over there it was a whole different thing. But you know, the love is still, the passion gonna be there no matter. I don't care if I'm on one person in the room or 1,000 people.
Thousands
in
of
the room.
people, right? Yeah.
I'm still love it. Chills going through me right now as we speak because I love that. I love performing. I love dancing.
Wow.
It's been my passion all my life.
Who were some of your favorite dancers from the past, or I dare say today?
Oh man.
Probably from the past.
Okay. They had the Nicholas Brothers, man. Them cats was. I remember watching on the black and white TV. Now I'm telling my age now. We had the black and white TV and watching Nicholas Brothers doing stormy weather and doing the splits and the taps and you know Bill Robinson and Shirley Temple and I'm watching them tap. You know with the tail. That's why I love tails. You know, Fred Astaire and all these great dancers, man. My mom used to say, "Go outside and play, boy." I'm like, "No, hold on, let me finish watching this first." You know.
Wow.
You know, I was intrigued. I was like, yo, so even to this now, to this day, like I said, I love wearing tails because they inspire me. You know, now dancers now, you got like Usher and Chris Brown. Chris is killing them. You know, Michael, you know I got to call Michael.
Right.
You know, and, you know, all the different dancers now. So I'm loving seeing, too, when I'm enjoying the TikTok and all these Instagrams and all these places, they're bringing dance, they're getting more dance out there.
Gives the younger generation a platform to actually dance.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
I'm pausing because it's such a interesting part of your journey, and I use interesting lightly, I suppose. So you experienced homelessness in New York, and I can see, even through these shades, man, that the experience clearly was painful, to say the least. Let's start from the beginning. What happened? How did you fall into homelessness?
Well, you know, we got to keep it real sometimes. You know, the world and me didn't communicate. You know, I didn't communicate with the world, right? You know, and when I got divorced, I got into drinking heavy, honestly, you know, in Colorado. So, but I still, you know, I traveled and went to Aberdeen and all that. But, you know, I learned something, then I'm going to come back to that. You can go from here to Japan, but if you take that same dude with you, you're going to get the same results, man.
Exactly.
You know, so I had a lot of, you know, taking me, so it end up out there. You know, I'm a veteran and all that, but I took me, and I wasn't listening. See, that's the thing. I learned how to listen. You know, people were dropping jewels on me and were looking out for me, but then I kept taking me, the same old me,
to different
places, and so the wall finally closed. Say, okay, look here, I'm gonna strip it from everything. You know, back in the day in California, I had 5 bank accounts, rode around Mercedes-Benz, bling, credit cards, money. And, you know, when I hit New York is real. New York.
I know.
If if you ain't real, you're gonna find out how to get real.
It's very different than L.A. and
Yeah.
certainly different than Atlanta. New York will put you where you need to be. I feel like in L.A. it's not as I don't want to really even sugarcoat this, but Los Angeles is a different type of city. It's very fake. Not to say that every Angelino is fake, but L.A. is a mirage.
Yeah.
You know, Atlanta is a lot of things that I probably shouldn't say on this show if I don't want to get canceled. But New York is the type of city that puts a mirror in your face.
Yeah.
And says, this is what it is. So, I mean, again, homelessness. What happened?
Yeah, like I said, I fell off, brother.
Okay.
You know, I got, and then the thing about it, when, like I said, when that wall hit, when everybody finally said, look, we had enough of you.
Yeah.
Like, it was just me in the streets. And
So, well, let me just say this. So, were you in the shelter system, or were you literally living on the streets of the city?
concrete.
Wow. So we're gonna get
I went into, you know what's crazy? I tried to go into the armory, the one on Atlantic Ave,
in Brooklyn.
and I went in there, boy. I was like, man, I feel more safer in the street.
Yeah, I've read that a lot, and about people that are experiencing homelessness choosing to live on subways or on sidewalks or on benches, as opposed to living in the shelter. I can't even conceive that thought. So one day you're home, one day you have a house or a home, and one day you don't. What was it like the first time you slept outside?
Oh, man. I stood on the sidewalk and I just looked at the world. I said, "This is me." I mean, you know, hold up, bro. I'm sorry. You excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I stood there, man, and I said, "This is it." You know, I ain't know where I was gonna go. I ain't know where I was gonna end up at. I ain't know what would happen next. I just walked, and so then you know, I was in Brooklyn. I was in Long Island, and I jumped on the railroad, drove free, and got to Manhattan. Walked the streets. It was deep. You know, we dropped a couple of things on you. I'm sleeping in the park in Wingate.
Wingate Park, okay.
Yeah, we had the free concerts on Mondays back in
Yep.
the day.
Yep.
And dudes throw 40s at me, you know.
40-ounce bottles.
40s, yeah, throwing at while I'm trying to sleep. I remember one night, you know, I had another cat I used to work with, we used to walk the streets with, and we always watch each other back, but that night I was so tired, man. I just went to the park and said, I'm gonna sleep, I'm just gonna stretch out. And someone said, open your eyes up. It had to be God, you know, I believe in God, I'm sorry. And open your eyes, when I opened my eyes up, man, some dreadlocks, they were smoking it. And they punched me. They would beat me. They wanted to beat me. And only thing saved me, you know, a little box cut or whatever, and I came out of it, and I ran to the gas station by Kings County Hospital, and the guy bandaged me up, peroxide me up. You know, I went through that stuff out there. I went through a lot. You know, dirty, stinking. I remember getting on the 2 train, and the conductor made an announcement, "Oh, here comes Stinky." You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Let's.
Ooh. We're going to be right back after this. We're back here on Sessions Café with Nathaniel Moran. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, right?
Yes.
Okay. And he's sharing a pretty deep component of his own story, literally living on the streets of New York City. So before we went to break, you were talking about how a MTA employee, a conductor on the subway, treated you when you boarded a 2 train in Brooklyn. So you got on the train.
Yeah. And they saw me coming through the window. I guess, you know, they peeped their head out.
Right.
And they made an announcement for the whole train. So here comes Stinky. And, bro, you know, I was so embarrassed, man. You know.
That's horrible, bro.
So I went to them 2 seats in the corner, threw my hoodie on, and I stayed there all day. Only time I got up, because I was still ashamed of pain. Then when I go between the cars, use the bathroom, and then I go right back to the seat. But you know, it was licks. You know, I remember getting tired of extension cords, man. Jamaican dudes would cut me in half and
Why?
guns in my head. I've been through that stuff.
Why?
And you know, I did an interview with on YouTube. I did in Manhattan, and they interviewed me, and then Cinder asked me questions. She said, what would I have changed? And I said, I wouldn't change nothing, man.
No, but before we continue, why did you get tied up?
Oh, when we come back to there, okay,
Yeah, because I don't want people
hang
to.
with the wrong people.
Okay.
And when you out there, you out there, man. So
Yeah.
you rolling with, you know, I'm hanging with people. Sometimes you're not feeling them,
Right.
but you just want to be around some people because you out there. So I was hanging with a female. So we went to this house, and we were drinking, and she got up and left. But I didn't know she got up and left, and I was sitting in the basement like, yo, where did she go? And he said, man, she left. And then, so I was going to leave. And he's like, nah, you can't leave. He said, nah, you got with drinking and partying, right? You know, she said, you got the money to pay for this. I'm like, what?
Oh, wow.
So I like, bro, I ain't got no money, man. It was real.
So basically, it was a setup.
Yeah, man. And it got real bad. And so they tied me up in an extension cord, and they had a machete. This is in my book, but and they had guns in my head. And they said, we're going to cut you in half. And when we're going to throw you back in the woods, and I don't know where they're going to find you when they smell you. And so I figured my life was done. So
Yeah.
I just, honestly, and chill, excuse me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I looked him in his eye while I was tied up. And I said, yo, cut me clean, man. I said, if you going to cut me clean. Don't jag me. So he went up with the machete. And when he came down, instead of him cutting me in half, they beat me with it like a paddle. They took the machete and paddled me and snatched me back up and continued until they got tired. And God got me out of it. I'm here today.
Thank God for that. Now, how long did you experience homelessness?
How long? I was out there for 2 years, man.
Oh, man.
I was homeless for 2 years.
Through all the seasons.
Yeah, man. You know, snow out there by 42nd. The Grand Central and all that. Sleep on the concrete, on the cardboards. You know, waking up, panhandling. You know, 7 days a week. You know, for 2 years, really, I slept with one eye open, one eye closed.
Must have been extraordinarily lonely and exhausting.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna tell you something, man. My feet swelled up. Everything. You know, one day I was on 8th Avenue. That's when they laid down by the buildings and with the McDonald's.
Right.
So I was panhandling down there, and a fella from the streets, you know, he said, yo, OG. He said, what size shoe you wear? I said, bro, I said, man, I don't know, man. My feet just swelled up. I used to wear 11, now I'm 10 and a half, it might be 11, I don't know.
Right.
So he walked off, and he came back with a brand new pair of British Knights.
Wow.
He said, yo, take that stuff. He said stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He said, take that stuff off your feet, put these on. And, you know, I remember them days, you know. I remember, I'm going to put it like this here, I met Neo,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the singer, dancer. I love to dance, you know that. So they were having a hip-hop show on 8th Avenue, and Snoop Dogg and everybody was coming up. And I saw Neo, and I was another with the cat. You know I was dirty stinking, but I forgot I was dirty stinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yo, I'm gonna talk to Neo, man. That dude can dance. And dude was like, man, they gonna talk about it. Don't go over there. I said, man, I'm going over there, man. So I went over to Neo, and I said, yo, my man. And I said, you know that song you be singing, man, when you make the hair on the back of my neck stand up? And I start popping, you know, locking and showing the moves. And one of the cats was like, oh, my God, man, you need to sign that dude, man. So I had him laughing. We kicked it. And then they went into a pizza shop right there by 8th Avenue. And he bounced a big dude. I said, my man, can I go in with them? He said, man, you funny dude. Yeah, you go. And they sit down and we build, you know. And then the one that told me he should sign me, he gave me a roll of money. He said, yo, bro, that's you.
Wow.
And I said it to say this, you know, that day I didn't feel homeless, man.
Right.
Yo,
That day you felt
excuse me, I'm sorry, bro.
and you felt whole. You felt like a human.
Yeah, man. You know, I feel like two artists building and two dancers, you know. So if I would meet him, I'd tell him, thank you for laughing with me, not laughing at me.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
I know that's
That's
right.
real tough.
Let's flip to your emancipation from that world. How did you become a mime?
Like I said, I'm a veteran. Every year I get in a competition called National Veteran Creative Art Festival. And I've been doing this ever since 2009. And thankfully I've been winning every two for the
That's what's
national.
up.
The first year, 2009, I did a song and dance. Louis Armstrong, hello, darling. It's so nice to have you back where you belong. And I won, but I won silver, so I wasn't invited. But they do, you go with us, we invite, they take you. So this, in 2010, I just did a dance. Michael Jackson, it's 3 minutes you got to use.
Okay.
So I took 1 minute and 150, did Smooth Criminal, and then I won. So what happened, I performed in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and got the bug for back on the stage again, man. You know, first I was leery because my lady who I dealt with, Tracy, I hadn't knew, most time I had to have a drink to get the butterflies off, so I didn't know I could dance anymore, you know, and she pushed me, she told me to do it. So I won, and I performed across Wisconsin. So 2011, that song Usher, There Go My Baby, I wanted to bring it to life instead of just dancing off of it. And I remember the great minds, myself, and Charlie Chapman, and all the gospel mimes and all this. And I wanted to do something different. So I went to Party City and I bought some, you know, makeup, white paint, and threw on my face, you know, what I was doing. But that day when she was recording me for the competition, I felt something different. I said, yo, sis, don't miss nothing for this. I feel something. Just again. I literally dropped, and I felt my body just leave me, bro, and stepped into that song, man. Because I used to listen to that song on the railroad all the time. I love the song, There Go My Baby. So I stepped in, my body just left, bro. So when I came to it, the end, I said, let me see the. So I saw it, and we sent it, and I won national, and
Wow.
I fell in love, and people started sending me music, and I've been doing it ever since, for over a decade now.
So let's talk about your books, because I kind of feel like, excuse me, your books, because I'm an author as well, your books definitely assisted in your healing, because you went through some trauma, some serious trauma. And I feel like your books probably were very, very, definitely healed you, definitely assisted in your therapy. So let's talk about them.
You know, well, I was doing a Gopi Awards for Tyler Perry people, Mr. Catcher Williams, in D.C. for Howard University, and I met this doctor, and we were talking about my story, and he said, I want to read your book while you're alive.
Wow.
And he said a lot of authors give their books after they pass, people have passed away.
Right.
So that stuck with me, and I met my publisher, her name is Bathsheba Monk, Blue Heron Bookworks. She's a veteran as well.
Okay.
When I was taking photo shooting for somebody else's book, and we bonded, and I told her, I said, yo, sis, I wanna do a book. So she said, we met at a diner, and she said, let me ask you a question before we do anything. She said, are you a finisher? And I said, I didn't finish high school, and I didn't do 20 years in the Army like I wanted to, but I want this book out there. And we went to work, and it dropped around COVID. It's made #1 bestseller the first week it dropped. I was blessed. You know, I beat Elton John out for #1 bestseller.
Nice.
And it's my story. It's you know,
That's your baby.
the good,
right
the
there.
bad, the ugly, my bad decisions, my good decisions,
Right.
where I want to go. And this right here, I love the youth, man. I never had a father. Well, I had a father, but never knew who he was.
Right.
Like that.
Didn't
My
have a
grandma-
relationship with them.
Yeah, you know. And so I like inspiring the youth. And so I wanted to do something. So she said, let's do a book for the kids. You like the kids. So that's
Now, what is the context of the children's book?
each alphabet, each have inspiring words. Like A is amazing, and you put a title sentence with it. B is beautiful, put a sentence with it. So they got me with pictures in it, and with different alphabets, and then inspire. Each alphabet is an inspiration word
Wow.
to inspire. You know.
So it teaches the children
alphabets.
how to associate letters with positive thoughts and positive ideas, and then it also teaches them how to create sentences based on that one word.
Yes.
Wow. So they by the time they finish, at the very least, they've put together 26 sentences.
Yes.
Wow, I love that. How can very quickly, where can we?
Yeah, the both of them on Amazon.
Okay.
So if you put in The Mind Speaks by Nate DeMime, that's on Amazon, and Nate DeMime's Private Alphabets, both of them on Amazon.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
When that first book, which came out first?
This one. This
Okay.
was-
When your autobiography came out, the day that it came out, and you physically had a copy of that book in your hand.
Oh, man.
Exactly.
Yo,
What was
man.
that feeling like for you to
Man,
physically have
bro,
a tangible recording of your life?
Yo, man. First of all, I wasn't good in school. I told you, man, school wasn't the best, you know.
Yeah.
And so I was tired of school so I couldn't believe that I'm an author, man.
Right.
You know, when I got that box, you know, you get your
Hey,
books.
I remember I pulled out a copy of mine and slept yeah.
So,
It's the best date I've ever had.
yo, man.
I don't believe I just said that.
I'm sitting there looking at like this much.
Yeah.
Words can't even describe, man. You know, especially where I came from. You know, I'm thankful, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm 64 years old, man.
I want to do something really quick.
Yes.
Hold that with both hands. No, it ain't for the camera.
Okay.
Hold that for yourself. Put it on your chest. How does that make you feel?
Oh man. Yo, man. Every time I look at it, I can't even. You know what I mean?
I do. I've been there.
Can't do that. You know.
Well, let me just say this, brother. Keep the book there. Give me one of your hands. Congratulations on your healing. Healing is not a destination, it's a journey. Congratulations on the world changing for you. And of course, congratulations on being an author. Because I'm going to tell you something. No matter what happens to you in life, you will always be an author. Nobody can ever take that from you. So hold on to that book, man. And I expect to see many more.
Oh yeah. To be honest with you, me and publisher already talking. Cause people ask me they want me to do a part 2 of this book.
Mm-hmm.
So we already talking about doing a third book,
Good.
part 2.
Because, yeah, you definitely have a story to tell, brother. And I'm glad that you are still here to tell it. All right? We'll see y'all next week. This brother and I got some bling sharing to do. And thank you for coming on
Can I
the
say
show.
one thing?
Go ahead.
I wear this chain, never give up.
Mm-hmm.
It's on my everything. I bleed it. I bleed this, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me? No matter what you go through, no matter what somebody say to you, because people gonna shoot you down, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you shoot yourself down. Sometimes you get in your own way.
Right.
Just don't give up, man.
Yeah, just don't give up.
And always take a minute to smile, man.
That's all it takes.
That's it, man. Because sometimes that 1 minute,
I know. I've had my struggles too, so I'm glad that you're here.
yes.
We'll see you next week.